guys, what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time I'm doing a review on Transformers The Last Knight Infernicus. This is part of the Toys R Us exclusive toy line, and most of it is a repaint of the Abominus set from Transformers Prime, which I really like. And for this set, it's kind of a mess. Some things I like and they improved on. Some things I really just don't like and they did not improve on. Some of that is because of mold degradation. Some of it I just feel like maybe they could have gone back to the drawing board. And some things I'm kind of like, maybe it shouldn't have been like this. Maybe it should have been completely new molds. But anyways, let's take a look at the set. So we got different characters. They are obviously not Ripper, Snapper, Blot, whatever. We've got, and I have to use the box as reference, this is Rupture. This is Thrash, which they have to say Infernocon, Infernocon Thrash. And then we've got Gorge, and then we've got Glug. And then the main figure is Skulk, and of course we've got a little Quintessa throw-in. Now, Skulk is the only one that does not have an alt mode, so that's unfortunate, or fortunate, because that alt mode doesn't get in the way, but Infernicus, for his separate little characters, didn't really have a beast mode. This is more so just stuff for the toy, so I guess it's fine. Taking a look at Quintessa, I think Quintessa is done very nicely. You can't really pick out some of the detail, but I think for what it's worth, it's alright. I do like some of the line work, the detailing in that. Very nice, you know? It's just a little thing that they decide to throw in. I'm not gonna get upset over it. It's just a little tiny thing, so it's how it is, whatever. Anyways, taking a look at the separate Infernicons, let's take a look at Rupture, which is a repaint of the, I think they called it Windraiser at the time, but it's Cutthroat. Pretty cool, you know, you got that black and orange, which I really do like. I'm not gonna really go in depth with all the separate ones, because, I mean, I've had the original ones. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have had at least one of the original ones, so, yeah. But anyways, it's a little bird thing. You've got the wings as articulation and whatnot. You've got big giant wings, so that's cool. A pretty nice looking beak. I love the orange eyes in that. Pretty cool looking bird thing. Very nice. And I do have the original Prime set, and I'll compare them in robot mode. I just didn't bother to transform them. So that's Rupture. And then we've got Thrash, which is very good in his mostly black color scheme with orange eyes. You got two heads on ball joints here. I wish there was more articulation in that, but whatever. You got the two tails that are on a single joint. You can plug on Cyberverse weapons onto these figures as well as up here. And you got ball joints right here. You got a couple of ball joints right here on the hips and on the feet. I've noticed that on mine, this panel seems to be very loose, but this side seems to be pretty tight. And you also have a joint right here if you want to use that, maybe as a running joint or something like that. I don't know. But pretty cool. You know, it's alright. And then we also have, I think this is Gorge or Glug. I keep mixing these two up. But anyways, this is a repaint of Blight or Blot, whatever you want to call it. I think it's pretty alright. The hands get in the way of him standing sometimes, because I want to keep his feet flat, but I don't want those to clash, which makes him wobbly because he needs to move forward because of the joints and everything. It's just like, ah. But you do have some pretty nice orange on the top here, in the eyes, right here on the belly, and the arms look very cool. I do like that. You do have some articulation in the arms. You got rotation, you got ball joint, you got the fingers that can move, and then you got the ball joints right here. So, pretty good. And then you have the repaint of Ripper Snapper. I believe this is Gludge or Gorge or whoever the hell. This is Glug, and then the other one's Gorge. Okay. Anyways, yeah, pretty cool. You know, I guess for a weird creature thing. It definitely does not look like Grimlock as they keep trying to repaint. You got some orange in the eye, and this one has some silver going on the back here. None of the other ones have silver. This is the only one. At least as far as I can remember, I'm not seeing any silver on the other ones. So that's very nice, but yeah, it's just a weird looking thing, but still looks good. So anyways, we're not going to take a look at Skulk just yet because I want to transform them into the robot modes. Now, they transform into a figure that's about Legion class size, and we'll get through the transformation pretty quickly. Just move the shoulders in, bring up the wings, and what I like to do is bring down the beak, fold that down, and then the head will flip up like so. Bring up the tail, and rotate the feet down, and there you have Rupture in his robot mode. As far as Thrash is concerned, what you want to do is take these panels, pull them out, like so, they're on a slider, and rotate them down and bring them down like so. Oh, and rotate the feet, I forgot. You want to rotate the feet first because that gets it out of the way. Do the same thing onto this side. This side seems to be really tight. And then take this joint and bring it around. Take the two dragon heads, split them apart, flip them down, and bring the legs, flip them to the back, take the tails, flip them up, open up the chest, there's his head right there, you want to bring that around like so, close up the chest, and there you have Thrash in his robot mode. As far as, what is this, Glug or whatever, I don't really care. Bring up the arms like so, rotate them like that, open up the hands, flip around the head, open up the chest, bring out the head, and as you're doing that, you want to combine the body like so. You can see these two sections that come down like that. Like, let me zoom in just a bit, like that. And then you see that open gap, bring up the head like so, bring down the arms, and flip up the hands. And there you have the robot mode. And then last but not least, we got this guy. Separate the back like so. And I just separated the faces accidentally. And bring that down. Once you've separated the faces, actually no, you don't want to do that just yet, because we got to bring up the chest. So the chest will flip up and wrap around the back and the tail like so. Flip up the head like that. And bring down the arms. Separate the legs. Bring the heads to the sides like that. And then rotate this around like so. And you could bring up the claws if you like. And there's that little guy. So taking a look at them, a Rupture is pretty cool with the giant wings that you could still use in the robot mode. Pretty cool head, very nice detail, very slim compared to the other ones. I do like this guy. I guess you can use this as knee articulation, but it's a little awkward considering that's supposed to be his kneecap. But still pretty cool. I think he's got probably the best arm articulation out of the bunch because he's actually got an elbow. But yeah, very nice. And as I mentioned, and I almost forgot, I meant to do a comparison with the other Prime Predacons, but I forgot to bring him from the shelf. So let me go do that quickly. I got him, and I keep stepping on something. Alright, and here's the comparison. As you can see, you got a lot more colors on this, because this is mostly black with orange. Very nice. I do like them. It just looks like a more demonic version of Windrazor, or Cutthroat, whatever you want to call them. As far as Thrash is concerned, you've got the arm articulation, the ball joints up here, but I feel like he needs elbows. Very nice molding work. This guy is my favorite design-wise. I don't know, I like the way he looks. And you've also got Twin Strike, which was the first release Predacon of the Abominus toy line. Very cool. I do like that. You also get feet articulation, which is very nice. And then you've also got this guy. I'm not even going to bother with the names anymore. Pretty cool. You know, nice ball joints. And I think the design is good. You know, you got the head, which is a little loose, but I love the molding on it. I just feel like he looks very aggressive. And then when you compare him to Blot or Blight, whatever you want to call him, there you go. They are pretty much the exact same figure. I'm sorry that I'm rushing these, but, I mean, they are pretty much just the same thing. And then, of course, you have this one, which is a repaint of Ripper Snapper. Very nice, very insane looking. I think of all the color schemes, this one works the best. I don't know why. He also has the least amount of orange because Thrash has more orange on his body. This just has the eyes. So that's pretty cool. And then finally we could take a look at Skulk. And he looks insane. There's some things that I don't like, but just looking at him, he is crazy looking. You got 2 weapons that you can add on. You can also add these weapons onto any of the other figures. They're the same port system. But taking them out of the way, you've got a lot more articulation. You got this, you got this, you got this, you got this, you got this. No articulation in the head except for up and down. And then you got ball joint in the hips, rotation in the knee, and then a knee joint, which is always going to be bent, but that's fine because it seems to have a double knee thing going on there. He does have a giant backpack, unfortunately, and you can give him a bigger one if you like by adding the weapons onto the back. So he's got weapon storage, and I will say it does make it look more like a cape, but if you move these shoulder joints, it gets out of the way. Or, not gets out of the way, it just looks more awkward, I guess. But still, not too bad. You know, I don't mind. He is the tallest one, and he does replace the Hunger figure. Which, let's compare that to him. Yep, definitely not the same figure, I can tell you that. And he's about Legends class scale, and I'm talking about the new Generations Legends. And sometimes when I hear that, I think, oh, it might just be a little set off. Might just be a little shorter, a little bit taller. No, he's about Legends class scale, so that's nice. And yeah, you can see the face of Infernicus inside the torso. I really do like that. You can also open up the rib cage to really see that. I think that's cool. And he's got an impressive face sculpt. Look at that. Look at the eyes. That is unbelievable. That is great. I love that. So with that out of the way, Infernicus, of course, transforms into, well, Infernicus. So let's go ahead and begin that. Starting off with the limbs. And they transform the same exact way as the original Abominus set. So you rotate the wings from the elbows. You bring out the tail. And you flip the head back and flip up the bird head like so. And then you flip back the tail. And then you take the legs and open them up. So basically you get them mostly into the bird mode. And that's one arm. For Thrash, what you want to do is flip back in the head. And for the most part, what you want to do is take him back into his beast mode. So bring these around. You can transform the legs back to the original position. I like to have them like this in robot mode. I don't know. Just looks a little more chunkier to me. And just leave the tails like that. So you got another arm. Then as far as this guy is concerned, this is where it gets a little more complicated. I'm trying to remember exactly how to do this. So open up the head, or the chest, and flip up the head. Take, oops, don't want to do that. Take the dragon or beast head and flip that down. And plug the feet onto the little pegs right there. Now, it's not a good connection, and that has to do with mold degradation, so just watch out for that. It really does not hold at all. I guess it just keeps it somewhat in place, but yeah, it doesn't really work. And then unhinge the arms, and you're just going to leave that open like so. For the Ripper Snapper like one, you want to combine the feet, and they don't tab at all. You're going to need some floor polish for that, because they really just don't work. Flip up the arms, and then untab from the chest, and rotate the head around like that. So now we got the limbs, and we can work on Skulk. To transform Skulk, what you want to do is bring up the shoulders like so, and combine them. And then take the arms, and flip them down like so. Next, what I'd like to do is take the legs and rotate them like that for right now. And then on the knee joint, rotate them around to where you're going to get that tab on the front. And there's a reason why you want to do that. Or at least that I do that. Next, open up the chest and bring the head, and that will pull out. As you can see, the ball joint is connected to this joint right here. That's why I left it like that, because now the legs will rotate somewhat into place, and the tabs will connect into the body, but it's not... You can see the little tabs right there, I guess. Right there where my finger is. That will go into a little gap inside there. It's not a secure connection, and the knees on this, or the leg joints on Infernicus right here, is very tight, especially when you rotate that. So you are likely, when playing with this, going to unlock those. Close this section back up, and now you can see that he's got two heads. Well, how are you going to remedy that? You take the head, fold it down, and that head folds into there. And I thought that was a pretty clever thing to do. Now, what you can do is take Rupture, plug him onto the side like so, like there, and he'll just plug onto two little peg holes on this. You can see the plug holes, peg holes, whatever. You got a couple of pegs on Thrash. You plug that in like so. It basically combines the same way as Abominus. You've got a clip right here, and I can't remember which side to use. Okay, so the Ripper Snapper lookalike one goes right into there, into that clip. And then you use this to cover that section up, like so. Make sure that the feet is combined. And you do the same thing to the Blot lookalike one, like so. And you combine that into place. And come on. There we go. And you do a little more work. Make sure that the legs are connected. And you bring that up. And then you bring the arms around. And you are pretty much done with Infernicus. But there is one more thing that I'd like to do with the toy. Make sure that the feet are still combined, because they will untab. I'm pretty sure that when you buy this, you're gonna find out that it's gonna untab at some point. That the tabs aren't that good. Anyways, the next thing I want to do is combine the weapons. They combine like so, and you can put that into his hand. And there you have Infernicus in his robot mode, or combined mode. So Infernicus is a lot taller than the Abominus set. For comparison, I don't have them combined, but there is the hunger. As you can see, yeah, they did a lot with Skulk, considering that Skulk is definitely not at all from hunger. Anyways, taking a look at him. How is he in general? I'll take off his weapon. Again, I feel like this should have all been new characters, or at least they should have had 2 Thrashes and then 2 maybe of the Ripper Snapper or Blot figures. Because, I mean, I like the differences between them in their separate modes, but in the movie they didn't really have a separate look between them, and I feel like it should have had consistent limbs, and that would have been way better for this toy. Because you got this big torso, and then you got, especially with this one, this tiny limb with this tiny hand. I guess you could say that the wings kind of make fingers for it, but when you get it in person, you just don't really get that feeling. You get the feeling that that's supposed to be his hand. I guess that could be a cool thing, because he does have this demonic kind of crazy look to him. So he could have this just weak hand that's just off-putting and weird, and then this bigger, stronger hand. But the legs don't really work too well for me, because they've got loose tabs. I don't know why these are the loosest tabs out of the whole set. It's on both feet. And it's just weird. You got this that does not want to tab in, and then you got this that doesn't want to stay in. But that's not even my biggest issue with the toy. My biggest issue with the toy is that something is too tight. Not too loose, way too tight. The joints on the legs, or not the joints, but the connections on the legs, I thought, oh, that's going to be a huge improvement because the Abominus set would just fall apart on me. And, I mean, it stays in place, but it stays in too well because there's something about the tabs where you can see them sticking out on the end there. Like so. You can see that little bit. Well, they have this notch that goes, it goes like this, and then up, and then down like that. And that's how it locks into place because this part is stopping it from coming out, of course. Well, I mean, do I really need to explain that? Anyways, I guess I'm just rambling at this point. But, anyways, it was too thick that you could not pull out the leg. And it took me probably 10 minutes to try and get that out at all. It was absolutely frustrating for me, and I did not like it, and I had to shave that down immediately because I could not do that again. But as far as the rest of the figure, let's take a look at the head. The head is pretty good with its articulation, not the best. It mostly just has side to side, doesn't rotate completely, but you know, that's fine. That's more than the Abominus set ever had. And look at that face, that is pretty cool. Not as good as the Skulk figure. You do have the Cybertronian writing on the side and some orange and silver, which looks very good. Articulation in the arms, you have this rotation joint, but you gotta make sure that the leg stays tapped in. You also have this joint out and in. You have the same basic joints as all the other Abominus characters from the limbs, so I'm not gonna focus too much on that. You've got forward, back, out, in, rotation right here, and even a knee joint, which is great. I wish the legs were thicker on the side, but whatever. So I haven't noticed that there's a way to combine the weapon and leave it on the back. That seems to be just something for the separate modes, which I get, and I don't mind, because the weapon looks a lot better when it's connected to this hand, because it just makes it feel more useful. You could also change this up to where it will look better. You can use it like the wings as a weapon or the wings as a hand or something. So, I mean, you could do some stuff with it. I just feel like a more consistent look to it would have improved the figure. It is quite big compared to Quintessa, but how is it compared to some of the other figures? Well, we've got Optimus Prime, and he's about Voyager class scale, which is funny because he's about $50, but he also transforms into the separate things, and also that is the Canadian price. I know someone's going to say, well, it was $40. No, it's 50 out here. Which, $50 for this, I'm just going to say it, I don't think that's a worth it price. I think I got it for about $30, 25, something like that, with the sales and everything. I was fine with paying that price for the toy, because even the separate modes are fine by themselves. Combined, it's not great, but I'm fine with it being about Voyager class scale when it comes to the comparison with Optimus Prime. Because, yeah, it would be nice if he was a lot bigger, and the separate modes are very tiny compared to him, but I take this over him being the same size as Abominus. I think that would have been bad, and we could have had that if it wasn't for the Skulk figure. So I do enjoy the fact that he's about this size. I'm fine with it. I know someone's going to say, well, he should be a lot taller. I really don't mind. This is fine. And then, not only that, I've got the Last Night Megatron with me. He's about the same size. I've got the Last Night Berserker, which somehow got a toy. I still don't get why. I've got the Last Night Barricade. And I've got the Last Night Nitro. So I've got all, I think that's all the Decepticons from the Last Night. So that's pretty cool. And then, of course, Quintessa is somewhere in there. I'm not going to really pull her out. But yeah, I do like this cast of Decepticons. Even though there is more Decepticons in the movie, I like what I'm seeing. So with that out of the way, that is pretty much it. As I said before, I can't really say, oh yeah, I definitely recommend this set because of its issues. With some joints that are, or some things that are too tight, some things that are too loose. some things that should have changed. It's just a mixed bag. And I think coming off of Abominus, they could have changed a lot more. And I guess they did, especially with the Skulk figure. But it's still not a huge improvement because while it's got some things that it improves on, it also replaces some of the bad issues with its own bad issues, if that makes sense. So with that out of the way, I thank you guys for watching. If you want Quintessa, this is pretty much the only way to get it unless someone else sells a Quintessa figure. But with that out of the way, that is pretty much it. I thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads. And I'll see you guys next time.